It's the brand new A24 film that just hit theaters. The film is directed by Kane Parsons, who is 20 years old, and the film is based off of his YouTube web series called Backrooms. This movie stars Chiwetel Ejiofor as the character of Clark, someone who has left his wife. He is struggling right now with his job and he's on the brink of kind of losing his mind. He goes to therapy with his therapist, Mary, who in this movie is played by Renate Reinsve. And Clark unexpectedly finds a door that takes him into the back rooms, and he is trying to figure out if it's a place that's good for him, bad for him. At one point, he'll get stuck in the movie, and his therapist Mary has to go in there and try to save him. The movie is an hour and 50 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max, and today we're talking about Backrooms. And just want to say, I saw the trailers for these movies, but knew really nothing about it. I'm not someone who was familiar with Kane Parsons before this. I did not watch his YouTube web series about the Backrooms. Just knew 20-year-old filmmaker, A24. James Wan is one of the producers on this film. Sean Levy is one of the producers on this film, and Osgood Perkins is one of the producers on this film. So obviously, a lot of people thought this was going to be a good idea to do. These are a lot of the top filmmakers, especially Wan and Osgood, who are towards the top of horror filmmakers today. And I think that, and I said this in my At Theater reaction, this movie is an experience with a capital E. This movie doesn't have this like mind-blowing story, technically. This movie is a lot about walking around the back rooms, and it's a movie that, I'll say this in a positive way, makes you feel lost and confused. The way the characters are experiencing the back rooms is very similar to how you, the audience, is experiencing it, and I found it to be one of the most unique experiences I've ever seen watching a movie. This film is an experience because the back rooms, what's fascinating once they're in the back rooms, the majority of the film takes place technically in the back rooms, is the fact that it feels familiar, it feels nostalgic, it feels comforting at times, but also the back rooms feel scary, thrilling, uncomfortable, uneasy. All of those feelings is what the characters are feeling, and it's really what the audience is feeling throughout the film. And that is a very special thing to nail. This, again, this has a story that I think a lot of people have seen before where, oh my God, there's a missing room and some people find it and they go in and stuff happens. But it all comes down to the execution from Kane Parsons. And it is confidently directed. And you don't really think about ever that a 20-year-old directed this film. What makes this movie great is obviously the two very, very strong lead performances, but also this fantastic filmmaking and director of photography work, cinematography work that is done throughout the film. The movie used standard photography, cinematography as well, but it also uses a lot of video cameras. The movie takes place in 1990, and characters film themselves in the back rooms, and a lot of the movie is just through the perspective of the camera that's recording these people go through the back rooms. Made it a really personal experience than just watching the characters just go through this maze. We really put ourselves in, the movie really puts you, excuse me, in the character's shoes. And that is really astonishing to do and makes this one of the better experiences you'll see in the movie all year long. But I think what might go under the radar because of the tone and the filmmaking are these two very strong performances. Chiwetel Ejiofor is fantastic in this movie because, yes, he is someone struggling a lot with his mental health, struggling a lot with his life, but it's not like the back rooms just turns him into this mentally lost person. He's on the brink of losing his mind before he walks into the back rooms. He's struggling in therapy, doesn't seem to be improving a lot from his mental health perspective. His job is not really going well. He's just sleeping where he works. It's really like he's at rock bottom. This is before he even goes into the back rooms. And that makes it more compelling when he's in the back rooms because you can tell why things are maybe pulling him in the correct direction and while things in the back rooms are really pulling him to go even in the wrong direction. And that's because the movie takes its time establishing Clark, the character that N.G.4 plays, before he's in the back rooms. And that makes him one of the most fascinating thing in this movie. But Renate Reinsve is also really good. She's a therapist, but she's really contemplating if what she's doing is correct and if there's a better way to go about therapy. And then she's trying to also save her clients basically in her head, and this is a way to do it. And obviously, she didn't understand what she was getting into, but she's very, very good in this movie as well. The setting, the production design is immaculate. It just feels larger than life, and I thought this was a really excellent film. My only negative is I'll say this: this film is going to have a very divisive ending. For me, I liked the ending. I thought it was a solid ending. I thought they could have made it a better ending, honestly, if they stopped 5 to 10 minutes earlier. There's a point where I was like, okay, the movie ending here, still ambiguous, but I was still cool with it. Would have been the perfect ending, and this movie would have been in my top 2 or 3 of the year. I thought the movie dragged on for a long scene in the last 10 minutes, and I really did think it hurt the ending of the movie. I think they could have cut the whole thing out, and I think the movie would have been honestly one of the best films of the year. I still really like this movie, but as much as the first 2 acts of this film are home runs, I think the ending feels more like a single or a double than a home run with what the first 2 acts are. So again, the story isn't like too deep. Maybe it could have gone deeper, but I thought this was an excellent movie that almost hit a grand slam, but I thought it was an excellent movie. Definitely worth checking out in the big screen. And I'm very excited that so many people are willing to go see this movie in the theater. I'm giving Backrooms a 4 out of 5 stars, guys. I am going 84% for the new A24 film. Let me know your thoughts on Backrooms down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.